Wanted to take a second just to talk about in Christianity. There is a YouTuber that I watch pretty regularly, and the reason I like his YouTube channel is because it doesn't have a whole lot of nonsense in it, and it's a straightforward, scripturally based channel. Up until the last month or so, he's resorted to some silliness and acting kind of crazy on his channel, and he's gaining subscribers. He's 15 to 20,000 more subscribers in the last month or so since he's been acting like this. Video I saw this morning was he was sucking on a pacifier and pouring a soda on his head and wearing his shirt on backwards, and it was ridiculous. It was to the point where I don't even remember what the scripture was he was talking about. I don't even remember the message he was talking about. But it's something that's been bothering me for a little while. Get you reverence for scripture. I'm not a stick in the mud. There's a time and a place for entertainment in Christianity. But when you're dealing with scripture, you're dealing with the word, I don't think that is the time and the place for it. If you're in the process of telling a story or whatever, movies or TV or music, I think that's acceptable. But it's the point of, are people looking at your channel to get the word, or are they looking at your channel to see the silly things that you're doing? If they're looking at the channel to see the silly things you're doing, you're not getting your message across. You're not sticking true to the scripture. There was a class that I took right at the end of my degree. Part of the assignment of that class was I had to watch an online service. One of the services that was offered, we were given a range of 5 or 10 different churches that we could have watched, and I watched one that was a mega church. It's well known, not going to name it, and I've heard sermons from that church before. They have a podcast. I follow the podcast, but this particular sermon that I was watching, they were doing a series on Bible lessons that we can gain from Hollywood movies. And the pastor was dressed up like Woody from Toy Story. To me, that kind of showed an irreverence to the Lord. Like I said, I'm not a stick in the mud. I enjoy a good time as much as anybody. But I feel like when you're dealing with scripture, it's just something that needs to be a little more reverence to the Lord. People don't take seriously. You're talking about the scripture and you're doing something silly to garner that attention. You're not going to be taken seriously. That is, if this YouTuber continues to do what he's doing, I will unsubscribe from the channel, because I follow his channel to get his views on the scripture that he's teaching. I don't watch his channel to see him pour a soda over his head or wear a shirt backwards or whatever. There are plenty of entertaining Christian channels, YouTube channels out there that do a good job of getting the word across. And I think there's a time and a place for it. Christians already take a bad rap for some of the things we do and some of the things we say, and may or may not be warranted. But when I'm dealing with scripture, I choose to have more reverence towards the Lord when I'm dealing with scripture, just because he deserves that. He deserves that honor. He deserves that glory, for me to be reverent towards him. It's just gets to the point where we as Christians are getting away from the message of the Bible, which is the gospel, preaching the gospel, and we're putting on rock concerts with light shows and smoke shows and music that is not really theologically sound. Again, I like good music, love worship music. What I don't love, though, is the way that it's presented. It's almost like God's not enough. Some of these celebrity pastors, it's almost like God's not enough. They got to put a show on. And with this channel here, I want the channel to grow because I want to reach people for the kingdom. I want the channel to grow because who doesn't want to be successful? What I won't resort to, though, is things like that, being silly and doing stunts to get views, to get subscribers. I just won't do it. What I want when you come here to this channel is I want a good biblical message. I want you to hear the gospel when you come here. I want you to hear that Jesus will save you, and not anything other than that. Now, I will do some things from time to time. I made a video recently about what Bible character would you be if you could be any Bible character. I don't think it has to be stuffy all the time, but there is a point. There's a point that it has to come to where you have to draw the line, where you have to have some reverence with Scripture. So, maybe right about that, I may be wrong, but that's just the way I see it. Thank you for watching, and let me know your views on it. Hit me in the comments, mail me, if you want to get in touch with me. The email address is jplaintalk@gmail.com. My website is jesusandplaintalk.com. Let me know what your views are.